Welcome to What's Your Story, where we, Jamie Marco,
and Stan Brown,
delve into the extraordinary lives of everyday people.
Listen in as we uncover the unique tales that shape who we are,
one story at a time.
Hey, let's get ready to explore today's story.
Let's do it. Well, hey, Dad. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to be seen, and here we go again.
I know. You know what? Listen, I was talking to someone the other day about the podcast, and they were like, "That's so cool that you're doing with your dad. You know, how this come about?" And I said, "Well, honestly, we were just talking about how everyone has a story and how we'd love to just learn and dive more into that, and how so many podcasts focus on famous people, but there's just people in everyday life who create awesomeness or just great stories to tell. We wanted to focus on those stories." And they were like, "That's so cool." I'm like, "Well, thanks. I appreciate that."
Well, hopefully there's a space out there for local people because, the podcasts which didn't exist for years are in overabundance all over the place. Some great content out there, great stuff. Whether it's
100%.
political, personal, showbiz, or whatever. So I think we're enjoying it. Hopefully the listeners are enjoying it, and hopefully they get some. And what's nice is it's because someone gets a video of themselves talking about something they enjoy. It's kind of a legacy for them.
Right. Well, and that's part of like why I also want to do this, right? Like this, once it's on the internet, it never goes away. So someone asked me, "Oh, how far do you live from your dad?" I was like, "As the crow flies or by car?" I'm like, "I think maybe like
Well,
three and a half miles."
just look over here. I'm over this.
Not that, listener, we're not that close.
Look,
But they were like,
we're actually in the same room. We have a very unique interior designer. We're in the same room.
yeah. But I was like, we actually live close, but part of it was that, listen, none of us know how long we're going to have in this world. And this is a video that will be on the internet forever. So it never goes away. I'm excited.
And I had some extra time to fill in.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, when you're retired, what are you doing? No. So you have met our next guest, and
Yes.
I know that you've had a chance to sit next to him at a luncheon, and I've met him, and thrilled to bring him in together today because have you ever had a day, Dad, where you're just like, ugh, like you just feel like you're like I talk 1 to 10. Like, have you ever had a one day?
Even I have some of those less than stellar days, and it's a way of pretty upbeat kind of guy. He's unique in his approach to everything, and it's kind of infectious, as we say.
Yeah, and you only experienced that by having lunch with him. So I'm excited for you to be connected with him again and see him. I've had a lot more interactions with him, and he's just amazing. So let's just let
And
him
someday, it
in.
reminds me of a joke. Someday I'll tell you my Pancho Villa joke.
Oh, maybe you can save it for the end of the episode. Hmm.
Mm, It's I could do that.
All right, let's go on. Let him in.
Laughing is good. It's medicine.
All right. Well, we are so pumped. Today we have a super special guest listener, and I met our listener, or I met our guest, our guest, because his company hired me to do a leadership training, and he was one of the participants in that training. And from that day, my life has changed forever. I get the most incredible text messages from this human about being, "Hey, I'm a 10, what number are you?" And like all these motivational things. And just if you don't have someone like this in your life, you need to get one. So I am grateful to introduce Jeremy Holiday to our podcast. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hello, Jeremy.
How you doing? How you doing? How we doing? I'm so happy to be here. Happy to be here.
I mean, do you just not feel that? Like, I feel like he's like glowing off the screen or in the voice, right, Dad?
Well, you can tell it's not acting.
No.
Oh, nah, this is natural. I wake up like this every day. I wake up like this every day.
What is
Can you,
okay,
can
so
you put that in a bottle
for
Can you put that in a bottle for our listeners?
yeah, can you bottle it up and sell it?
I absolutely can.
But Jeremy, like, let's talk about that. Like, listen, I am not privy to know how many years you've been on this planet. But like, what is the secret to that? Like, before we talk about like your life, what you've done, all that kind of stuff, like, how do you do that? Because let's be honest, a lot of people don't. So what's your secret to feeling that?
Well, my secret how I grew up, just being around a lot of older people, and of course I had a lot of family, like cousins, like one of my cousins, of course, got a chance to meet her, but we all grew up together as siblings, so we've been through a lot, seen a lot, and a lot of things happen, and our family is a very close knit family, and we stick together, and just learning how to appreciate life, and just in, having friends and some other family members may have had things that you wasn't privileged to. You just want those things and just happen. You learn to enjoy, and when you start striving, and sometimes you just learn also that, hey, some of those things are just like I said, you learn that things are materialistic, and that doesn't make you happy inside. And once you figure that type of thing out, just life, and just learn to live, and just some things you can't change, you just let it go. You have no control over it. You just and it's just me. I'm just happy to be on this earth because, like I said, I'm just happy to be living. I've seen a lot of people, leave here early. Like, I have a sibling that was younger than me that left here at the age 16. So one of those type of things. So certain things like that just teaches you, you know, be humble. Things gonna happen, and you just have to learn to live and just be thankful. Like I said, I'm just thankful every day I wake up, and so I just refuse to be, negative. I'm just a happy type of guy. I just love, energy, and I give energy for some reason.
As the American Indians have said for years, every day you feed the right wolf.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's pretty much how it is. Like I said, I just enjoy being happy in me, and I try not to let anybody or anything kind of disturb that. Get in my bubble and disturb that. I don't like to be disturbed when it comes to my energy. And if I can spread it, because I've been told, like Ms. Jaime said, earlier, I light up the room. I've been told that.
No, it's contagious, unquestionably.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I get asked that a lot, like how do you do it? Because I go pretty. We'll get into this later, a little bit later probably, but touch on it. How I just, go. I just have a motor that keeps running and running and running, and where does the energy come from? Where the passion come from? I'm like, man, I wish I knew. I just have that urge. It's like it's never enough. Seem like.
I love that. Well, so listen, you're fascinating because first of all, your dad, right? Your dad, am I getting that right? Are you a dad?
Yes.
Okay. How many little ones or how many children do you have that you're a father to?
I have two, a son and a daughter.
And are they as infectiously outgoing and energetic as you are? Like, do they feed off that same energy?
Well, my daughter does. She's the youngest, so she's more, more of my spirit.
Okay.
But yeah, they definitely outgoing. Like I've taken them a lot of places. We've seen a lot of things. Teach them about, the world is big. So I've had, like I said, I have opportunity to meet a lot of different people of a lot of different cultures, ethnicities. I've traveled the world a whole bunch of times. I've been around the world a lot. Like, I've been to a lot of places. So it's very interesting. And, just like I said, I just love that. I love it. I'm just a sponge when it comes to any and everything. I love learning.
So has your travels, though, I know that, so I got a chance to know you, but I also did some research even deeper into who Jaime is. And when you got Employee of the Month at Teak Decking Systems, they talked about how you were a Marine. And so, first of all, thank you for your service. But you just mentioned that you've had the opportunity to travel the world. Does that come from when you were a Marine or during your current role at Teak Decking? Because you guys have projects all over the place. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. And then just growing up, like I come from a military family. My dad, retired from the army. I have uncles. My granddad served in, World War II. So I come from a military family, so I got to travel, a lot, growing up. So it's interesting. So, but yes, it's definitely something to see. And if I just encourage anybody, if they can, travel outside their city or their state, because I know people that haven't even been outside of their town or their city, and it just kind of, when I was a lot younger, it's like, man, I can't believe that. It blows your mind. You're like, wow, that's amazing. Like, how could you not travel, outside the city,
Sure.
outside your town or your state?
Wow.
So,
It's true. It's, you get stuck in your bubble, but when you open your eyes up to like the world being your oyster, you are, first of all, you become so much more grateful for what you have, right? Because let's be honest, in
right.
other parts of the world, they don't get to have just basic common things like clean water that we get to have.
Oh,
So
man.
little things like that. But it's also pretty incredible because you have been in your role and have grown in your role, even in the past couple of years, grown even more.
Right.
Um,
Right.
21 years at the same job. So that is pretty much unheard of today. Tell us a little bit about how you got into doing what you're doing. And I know where it came from, some part of what you did in the Marines, but tell our listeners about how you got into what you're doing and what you're doing now.
I actually came in, me and my cousin Nisi was at a job fair. Yeah, it was at a job fair at the Civic Center, and just so happened I had just finished at one booth with a company, and as I was walking the corner, turning the corner, I was called over, like was being pointed at, and I'm pointing at my cousin pointing at me. I'm looking at looking at me, like, that type
What
of
we
thing, like you
do? What
talking
we
to me, you
do?
talking to me, you talking to me, talking to you. And then I'm finally pointing me in, like, yeah. So then I got called over, and then we started talking, and hey, you have any experience with woodworking or using your hands? What else? Just a little bit, and it just kind of went from there. We just talked, and he gave me his card and said, "All right, I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow." And he did. He called me. He called me the next day, and I came in for the interview. Took the little, the test, the math test, and all that good stuff, and then got a tour of the shop and all that good stuff. And they started telling me, what they do and what it's about. And I asked a few questions, and they said, "You think you'll be interested?" And then I said, "Well, yeah, that sounds good." Of course, you always got to talk about, well, what's it paid? You definitely want to know that.
That's the first question.
Volunteer job.
So once we got through that, and then went down for the physical. And once all that done, I started the next week, and it was pretty much a wrap from there. Everything was on the go from there. I would come in, and once I kind of got the feel of my department I was working in at first, I started out at the caulk department, and then went from caulking, then went into the jig room, and then shortly after working in the jig room for, let's say, probably about 6-7 months, I went on my first install. We was doing cruise ships heavy, then. So my first job was to the Bahamas. so my family, they all like, "Oh, you going to the Bahamas?" But once you get there and you see what it's like, you're like, as far as job wise, you're like, "Oh man, what did I sign up for?" It was hot. I mean, man, it's some pretty tough conditions, but like I said, maybe some of that Marine training, it pretty much kicked in, adapt and overcome, kicked in. And
what happened to your cousin, man?
She got hired
my
cousin, right?
Oh, well, that was later. My cousin came later.
Was it Nisi that was with you at the job fair?
Yeah. We was at the job fair, but she came later though. She came she came like a year later.
And it's like Teak Decking's been around for about 50 years, right?
Oh yeah, yes, it has.
So you've been there 21 years. So I mean, like
yes.
That's incredible. What do you think? And so, first of all, teak decking, for those that don't know, you can obviously Google it, but they create teak decks for super yachts, cruise ships, different boats, all that there. And Jeremy is on the team that actually creates the actual deck, right? Like that, you're on the CNC, right? Like you're actually cutting it and creating it.
Right, correct.
Where does the teak wood come from?
Come from all over. We get it from somewhere everywhere. It's not just one place. They have so many places to come from, so it's not just one place.
Is it a teak tree?
Yes, they come from trees. That is a tree. Yes, exactly.
Any in Florida? No,
none in Florida.
It's incredible.
So it come from like
Jeremy gave me a tour. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, it come from, like I said, somewhere everywhere. Like I said, we used to get a lot of our teak from overseas in Burma. Burma used to have a lot, so that was like big for them. That's how they really feed their family of Burma. Trees. That's how they do it to get on the elephant. So I guess that's how the Lars, he came up with the whole elephant thing. Yeah, but yeah, that's how they actually do it there.
And back in history, teak was always used initially for boats.
I'm not sure, but that's it. It works well. Furniture, you can definitely furniture. So furniture as well. Like they use it in a lot of furniture because it's very oily. So you don't really have to do a lot of varnishing and stuff to it. So it weathers well out in the weather. So that's definitely the number one wood you probably want to use.
What has been like the secret to staying there for 21 years, right? Like I know personally that obviously in 21 years, there's probably been change in leadership, change in managers work, that change in people. I know there's a lot of tenure at Teak Decking because it's a great company to work for. But that's, like I said, that is unheard of today, someone staying somewhere for 21 years. So what has been like, how?
You just have to like I say, set goals and just have to, like I say, just have to stay positive regardless of leadership changes. And like I said, I've been in so many different roles and for a long time. Like I said, once I started installing, that's pretty much all I was doing for like so many years. So I would always pretty much stay, gone. I like to say somewhere everywhere. I'm installing, come back in for maybe a week or two, and then I'm gone again. So that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons that how it kind of worked out for me to keep that I was always gone. So I'll say, it's almost like being in politics. I'm not into politics a whole lot, so I call it like being in politics when you're inside here, inside the facility, so I try to stay away from the politics.
I love
But so
that's
that
why you're
helped me kind of
happy.
go around.
That's why you're so happy and like glowing all the time.
Man, I see people, man, just talking like actual politics, man. They can get rough. People can get
Oh,
attitudes, and oh man, it can get crazy.
don't go there, especially in light of our recent debate. Don't even go
Right.
there. But
Exactly. I don't
Oh,
even like
we
touching
can
on it.
talk about that. Can we
no,
talk
we're
about
not
that?
talking
No.
about that.
No,
We're not talking about
Please,
that.
we
So,
don't.
no, stop.
you've also been involved in different operations within the company, which keeps it, when you mix it up like that, just makes it more interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've been in pretty much every like right now. I'm a big one of the big supervisors. I'm over for different departments right now.
It's so cool. I think that's just like amazing. So I also learned that you have a love of cars. So tell us a little bit how you feed that passion now, or are you, or you're like, maybe that was a couple years ago, you're like, not anymore. Tell you, I see your face
Uh,
being like, well, Jamie, I don't know.
nah, man, I love some cars. Man. I can get off work right now, worked all day, be tired. Say, man, when I get home, I'm just gonna shower and just chill. But man, if I get around a car,
It's
some
over.
old one at that, and oh man, I'm telling you, I can go all night long. It's like I never get tired of, when it comes to dealing with a car, whether the engines or whatever, it don't matter. Putting on parts. I just love cars. I always had a passion for that. That started early too as well. Like I had couple uncles and stuff that used to work on cars out by my grandma's house. So and my dad them. So I just always had a thing for it. I was like I said, I'm just curious. I was always curious.
I love that. Who has had the greatest impact on your life? Like, who would you say has been the greatest influence in your life, mentor wise?
Like I said, my dad. Like I said, he's like I said, strict and that military just he just like no playing, ain't no playing. And he's a big guy. He like 6'3", 6'4". He was no small guy. And then just being tough and yeah, but like I said, we did fun things. Like I actually got to go. Sometimes he used to go night fishing, and so I got to go fishing at night sometimes. So even though it was school night, he would let me tag along. So that stuff like that, that makes a big difference and kind of softens the blow, so to speak, when you're in trouble. And when you're strict, strict with that discipline, like I said, it goes a long way. And that, like I said, that definitely helped me a lot, a lot. I thank him. I've thanked him so many times. I've written my dad like a 3-page letter one time, just thanking him for thanking him for all the things that we've been through over the years, whether it was good or bad. And majority of it was good, but just instilling in me a lot of things that he instilled and helped me, get through what I get through. And a lot of times, just growing up, you don't be thinking, oh man, that's daddy always talking about,
Sure.
This and that. These parents always tripping, but they always say, hey, I done been the way where you at right now, I've been there. So I done seen it. I'm telling you what's gonna happen. And then all of a sudden it happens, you're like, oh, my dad was right, or my parent was right. But a lot of those things, it helped me, get through and navigate through life. And like I said, I'm really appreciative of all the advice and wisdom that he passed along.
Is your dad still around?
Yeah, he's still living.
That's awesome. And it's
Is
got
he
to be
still
probably
6'3"?
You might be 6'5", might be got a little taller.
Oh my gosh. And is he like, so I'm just curious because, so this is my dad, obviously, and I know what my dad was like when I was growing up in our relationship. We had a great relationship. And now I get to see my dad with my daughter. So what is your
Right.
dad like is he as strict with the grandchildren, or is it like they get to have a totally different experience? What's that like?
Man, they get a totally different experience. Like when it comes to especially my daughter, when it comes to my daughter, man, he melt like butter. You know what I mean?
No one said we're going to disclose the grandparents' secrets here today.
Oh, it is like they get, I mean, yeah, wrapped around their finger. Like, oh my gosh, yeah.
anything they want. Papa, let me do something. Okay. It's like, man, well,
Mhm.
why was it like that when I was growing up? It's just
Yeah.
that's just too easy, you know?
Oh my
Too
gosh.
easy.
So true. So now I also happen to know that you are an aspiring musician. So tell us a little bit about the music that you write and that part of your world.
I think you just scared him. Be careful.
Nah,
I
nah.
know
Like I said,
fear.
that's just
I know fear when I see it.
we gotta work on pop fear skills because his testing skills because he don't see no fear over here. But yeah, that's definitely a passion, and I don't know, just something about music. Like I said, I just just one of the things you're born with ever since, like I said, just being around music, musically. The first time I ever like attempted to write a song, me and one of my other cousins, Jaime, he his name's Jaime, by the way. So
Good person.
yes, so he and I call ourselves we had a little group to call ourselves. We was about 6, 7 years old, and we call ourselves Jam and Jerry. That was our little group we had. And I remember, we came up with a little song one time in the living room. We was, up late, and we were just messing around, and so that's how it all kind of started. But then it started getting more serious once I got in my teens or whatever, and it just started getting more serious. And then it got even serious when I came, and me and Nisi them hooked up, and we all had a group, and started going to the studio actually, and writing songs, and actually doing shows and stuff like that. So and then I had to take a break, and then like I say, now just starting to get tapped back into that. And I just like to thank Miss Jamie, as well, because she said in the class, you should, tap back into that, And then sometimes, like I said, the other signs that, tell you another, maybe other family members that also they say, hey man, what's happening? Or somebody asked you one day, hey, whatever happened with you in the music thing? What happened? I thought you were doing music. So, I guess sometimes it's a calling, and, maybe my time is coming real soon to hit it big.
Where are you at with it right now? Like, tell us what you're doing for music. Well, tell us your biggest influence in music and then what you're trying to achieve right now. So our listeners that are listening can know where to find you or all that good stuff.
Oh well, I really don't have a music page. I don't, but I'm on different social medias. I don't have my music. I don't really post a lot of music. I have another family member that does that.
Okay.
But once they get going, and they get because you have to like revamp, so it's like starting all over. So once everything get revamped, of course I'll definitely reach out to you and let you know
Why
I
don't you
can
send
reach.
send her a link of your best stuff? We'll just play maybe one rendition.
I've got
If
some
not
here.
enough.
Can I play what you
Yes,
sent
well,
me?
yeah, you can play that. Like you play a little bit of it if you like.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it because my settings are weird on here. So I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. Let's see. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Hold on. Can you hear it? No.
No.
Yeah. Zoom like cancels out outside stuff, but I can upload it later. But let me just kind of share with you like this video that like is a typical Jeremy video. Like he's just there being like, good morning, like telling me how excited. You can't hear it probably. But
No,
like
I
these
can.
like videos that you send are just so inspirational to someone like me. Like you send me a video like, hey, Ted, how are you? I love it. And I think that that's so cool that you are channeling like that energy and putting it into a medium like music, right? So I told you that if you're passionate about that, you have to tell the world about that because other people like music has been such an instrumental piece of everything in life. We hear it in movies, we hear it in television, we hear lyrics, we see someone like, artists who are selling out stadiums based on their lyrics or just their entertainment. And so music is such a huge piece of what we do. And so
It's
that's what I
today's
said to you.
poetry.
It is today's poetry. And I think it's great. What inspires you of the lyrics that you write?
Just the feeling, and then just like I said, I call myself. I always tell my cousin, I say I'm more of a like I said, I'm an old fashioned, So a lot of older stuff. Like I said, I grew up listening to a lot of like I said older stuff. Growing up, my parents and music and stuff. So I really kind of dig the way they
I
they
like
talk
old
about.
Yeah.
fashioned.
Oh yeah. So like
I'm
one of
with you,
my
man.
like one of yeah one of my favorite groups of all time is the Isley Brothers. One of my favorite groups of all time.
Really? I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, love them, man, love them.
Who else would be a big influence in your music career?
Uh, I listen to some of the blues, like let's say like a BB King, I listen to more of the the Tupacs, the Biggie Smalls, and sorts of
Yeah,
like Big Daddy Kane.
yeah,
It's just so many, like Run DMC back in the day. I mean,
yeah.
it's
Dad, are you
it's a,
recognizing
it's a
any of
lot.
these names, Dad? I know
Of
them, Dad.
course. Oh, I want to see the clip, man. We'll get the link. Absolutely.
We'll get it. We'll get it. So what is like, Jeremy, what is next for you? Like listen, obviously you've got your day job, you got this music that you're dabbling in, trying to get back into it. But what would be like the best outcome? What happens next in your story?
Next story, like I said, just get everything pretty much lined up as far as production wise. Like I said, we got got quite a few songs and beats and production, ready to go, ready to do. So just getting into the studio and be able to knock it out and get everything mixed and mastered and all the paperwork done and all the legal stuff that has to go along with it. Because like I said, a lot of times it's more than just like I said, going to the studio and just record. It's so much more to it than that. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it that, like I said, behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know about. They think just, oh, you just go, somebody just liking music, like, oh, I'm gonna go in the studio and just do a song. Like I said, it's a lot more to it than just that.
Yeah.
So just make sure all your ducks in a row. But yeah, so the outcome that I'll be looking for is, like I said, just to really just get out there and do and show the world what I really love to do. And I love that. Like I said, I can do it with my eyes closed. I mean, like I said, day in and day out. That's something I'll see myself getting tired of.
Love it. What would you say has been like your greatest lesson so far in life? You talked about learning a lot from your dad. You talked about learning a lot from your grandmother. You talked about learning a lot from like siblings and cousins and traveling the world and doing things. What would you say has been one of your greatest lessons in life right now?
Man, just one of my greatest lessons is just that, man, no matter how hard you've been hit, no matter, how much weight you feel like you carry, just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, and your breakthrough gonna come through, and all the weight gonna be lifted, and yeah, you're gonna get to see all your dreams come true if you keep pushing through. So just never give up, pretty much. Just keep dreaming, keep living, and keep striving. And something gonna happen. Something gonna eventually have to shake. Like they say, you go looking for a job. Everybody saying no. Everybody saying no. Somebody eventually gonna say yes.
I love it.
Jeremy, how old were you when you went into the service? How old were you
Oh, I
joining the
was
Marine?
I was 18.
And how many years were you in for?
Oh, I did my little tour. Did my little 4-year tour.
This is the kind of guy. If I needed somebody in my foxhole, I would take Jeremy in my foxhole.
Oh, you definitely be my foxhole, buddy. I'll be on watch. I wouldn't even let you. That's right, be on watch.
Did you grow up in this area, Jeremy? You did, right?
Nah, I'm originally from Georgia. I'm from Millen, Georgia.
Oh, that's right. Okay, got it. And then how many siblings do you have, and included ones
I
that
have
you've lost?
three.
There's three total. So four total of you,
Mhm.
and all boys, or any daughters?
Nah, those are girls.
Okay, got
So
it.
I have sisters.
And where do you fall in the age rank?
I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest.
The oldest. That's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm a middle, so I won't talk bad about my older
Oh.
but my dad's the baby, so we've got it all covered here.
It means nothing. It's all in your mind.
Yeah.
What? Those babies got it real easy. Those last ones, they're the ones that get it real easy.
Yeah, my husband's a baby. But
You'll watch my podcast next.
You talked a lot about family, and you've said, that family has been a big part of your life. And I think that's just like such a cool thing. What don't we know about your story right now, Jeremy? What is something that we don't know that would be helpful for listeners hearing, that would either help somebody like motivate them, inspire them, or that would just tell them like they're on the right path? What's something about you that we don't know?
Like I said, you got a chance to see how I grew up. I'm not gonna say that I didn't have anything, but like I said, a lot of things that a lot of you know some of my friends and stuff had, I was maybe sometimes maybe the last to get, whether it was a
Sure.
a video game or a toy. A lot of times, like I said, I've had I ain't afraid to say it, I've had some hand me down toys, some hand me down shoes. My cousin was a little older than me, so he had nice stuff, so it got passed down to me. So I mean, I ain't ashamed to say it. I'm like I said, I'm grateful. I'm happy. Like I said, they taught me how to appreciate and take care of what I have. And make it last.
Big
So
lesson.
just those things, man. Don't be ashamed of where you come from. Just wear it. Just own it. And that doesn't change or make you who you are. Just because Joe up the street do such and such and such, that don't mean you have to do it.
That's a fact.
You can be better. You can be better than that.
I love that. I think in today's world, we focus so much on what we have versus who we are. And it
Correct.
causes, like, you see, we have like all the social media, and you see people that are always trying to like keep up or trying to do something or be something else. And it's like, just live your life. I watched this video this morning. It was actually really kind of funny. I don't even know what it's from. But it was Eddie Murphy. It was, I don't know if it's in a movie he was in. And he's like walking, and he's like, you only have at best, or he's like, most people on average have 75 years on this planet. So
Ooh, it's getting close to that. Be careful.
I know, yeah, Dad. You're almost past it. You're 76.
I'm looking forward to the weekend. Will I make the weekend? Jeez.
No, but he was saying, like, you're gonna live to like 1 million, whatever.
Woo.
But he was like walking through, and he was saying that's like 75 winter, 75 spring, 75 summer, 75, like all these things. And then I watched another video that was about a parent saying that you only had your kids at home for 18 summers or they said, or this and that. And it's like, it's so true. Like, we're also moving so fast sometimes, or trying to do the grind, that we forget just to appreciate just life itself. And that's what Jeremy, I think, is just so special about you, is because
he's a living example. You can be happy. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, like I said, nobody can steal my happiness. I'm telling you, I'm just in this place. I guard it. Man. I guard it with my life. I'm telling you.
And you're not free of things that could have done that, right? Like, you've suffered loss, like you said, you've suffered challenges. You obviously, in the Marines, I'm sure you were faced in 4 years with things that, I don't know, what years were that, whether you were in the Marines? How long ago was that?
That's been years ago. Oh, that was way back when.
Got it. I mean, yeah, you're like, I forgot that, Jamie. But like, like, who knows what you experienced just by going through that experience, right? But yet you still continue to find a place to come from love and to come from happiness and to share that. And I just think that's awesome. And I just have such the utmost respect for you, of just being this person who is like, you know what? Yeah, like, stuff's going to happen. Life's going to get in the way. But if you just guard that happiness and guard that energy, then nothing can get in. I just think that's awesome. I love it. I love that. So thank you for being
Yes. Oh yeah, no problem. I'm glad. Like I said, just sometimes, people can have a misperception of you sometimes. I guess sometimes they say, oh, you look like you're mean, you carry a unit. But I'm very approachable, and like I said, I love talking to people, and like I said, meeting people. So like I said, I haven't ever had a problem. I mean, there's been times, like I said, I've been on the plane hoping and praying I get able to get some sleep, and I don't. And I'm on a 13-hour flight, and somebody want to talk to me almost the whole time, because they, hey, how you doing when you first introduce, oh, how you doing? Then they say, oh, where you going? And you start talking about where you going. Oh, what are you going to do? Oh, I'm going to install. I'm going. Oh, well, what company you work for? And then they go on and on. Like, man, I was hoping to get some sleep. But at the same time, like I said, you get a good conversation going, and you get to meet someone and find some interesting things, and you might can even learn some things.
Well, he tried to put on his mean face, but he couldn't find it.
That
is. Damn, where's my mean face?
I know it didn't quite work out.
I love it. Well, Jeremy, I hope that I end up in an airplane next to you, because we would have the best time chatting the entire time. I let you sleep though. No, you're amazing. And I just want to say that I'm just grateful that there are people like you in this world who are just spreading that awesomeness, learning other people's stories and connecting. And please don't stop. Don't stop at all. And know that I appreciate everything that you bring in the world. And there should be more people who hone in on that. Like, this is my energy. I want to make the world a better place. And I want to help uplift other people as well too. So thanks for what you do every day, Jeremy.
And I wish we had a family yacht that you could recondition for us.
That would be really nice.
Hey, you know what, Jeremy? Here you go. when this podcast takes off and we like, who knows, whatever, tell all these stories, you'll be the first one we call.
Jamie,
Hey,
Jamie,
man,
why
yeah,
don't we set up a GoFund My yacht page?
that'd be so cool, right? That'd be
I can
cool.
do
Oh
it.
my
I can
God.
do that. Yeah.
Although I will tell you, Jeremy, growing up, my parents for like a hot minute got a jet boat. And as long as if we're gonna get a yacht, Dad, you cannot be the captain because that was some of the scariest
Wow.
times in my life.
You were sworn to secrecy about those days, weren't you?
We grounded it. We got the stuff in the jet. We like, yeah. Not
Oh
the
man, so cool.
It was part of her experience. That's all.
I'll go
No
fishing
man.
with you instead, Jeremy. I'll go fishing with you and do that instead.
Hey, I'm down with that. I just want to be a new rod and reel coming
Done.
soon. So hey, so I'm ready. I'm
And
ready.
send us your best music clip. We're going to play it.
Yes.
Your choice.
Yeah, you send me which one you want to share, and I will share. Or if there's a link to it, like if there's like a YouTube link,
Okay.
or if there's a link, send me this, and then we'll share it with our audience so they can hear it, they can follow you, and when you know that you've got a page of where they can be your biggest fans.
Oh, thank you. And I just want to take a quick minute and say thank you to the both of you. And like I said, Jamie, from the first time I got the chance to, meet you and interact with you in your class, I'm like, oh man, she's awesome. And I knew there was some kind of connection, just the way how you teach your class and everything. It's just so different, and different people, learn in different type of ways. And some of the classes, I'm just gonna be honest, it just be, boring. And it's just repetitive. But the way you go at it and what you bring is just amazing. And it's a lot of positive feedback we have got, from your class. And I know I enjoyed it and I really, learned a lot and I use those things. So I really thank you. And I thank you for inviting me to, see you speak as well. And I really appreciate it. It was good meeting you, Dan.
Hey, we'll see you backstage, okay?
That's right. I'll make sure you have VIP passes. I got you.
Yeah. This is being recorded.
Wow. I mean, did you like, is he not just super infectious? And we're going to go fishing with him. We're going to go fishing with him.
There's a Jason Statham movie called Crank. I think I've been cranked up. I'm not
Ooh,
sure.
I like that.
For me, it's pretty high on the stand chart.
I like that. I haven't played for you his music that he was talking about. But he's like so funny because I'll look up at like 6 a.m. and I'll have a text from him with like a new music drop that he has. And it's just awesome. And I'll include the link for our listeners. But it's just so cool that he's getting back to what he's passionate about. I think that there was like so much more to his story. And yet I love what we got to learn about him. So maybe we'll have him back where he can dive deeper.
On the grand scale, what's funny is we talk about his energy level, his enthusiasm, his positivity. Where does it all come for us? Because as we go through life, some people have none.
Yeah.
Some people have a medium amount. Some people have an overabundance. So do we control this? Does it control us? And what's the source? So I think I've got some ideas and some comments. So we should talk about at some future day, talk about this, because I think if people can improve the internal energy they have, I think they would feel better. They would perform better. Be really a more meaningful life for them. But it's something they alone, they can make the decision of what their mind is going to create for them.
Yeah. Well, there's a story there about, that he had obviously, experienced loss in his life, and he, had said he wants to never, like, doesn't want to regret a day of his life. He's living for him, right? So I think that there's like a lot that's channeled there. And I just think that, like you said, like you have a choice every day, and every day is not, I tell people all the time that, hey, I could be a 4 today. And I still go and I speak to teams and I motivate teams, and I've got to be in front of a room or front of a stage, and I could be a 4, but I choose to show up with the right attitude in that moment. And then I can go back and have my 4 later on. But, we are infectious, and he is, obviously he's contagious. You said you're like cranked right now, and he's super contagious. And I think that we all forget that our attitude is contagious, and what we bring. And even when we have a bad, experience about something, or we're down and not having a great day, we can have others help us as well too. So there's so much.
Future topic I want to pursue for you and our folks is, I think really you can control the energy you have rather than have it control you. And I think what the Asian philosophies tell you, rather than having a 10 all the time or a 1 being depressed, if you can maintain an even 8.5 through all the trials and tribulations of life, it's great. But there are ways you can modulate what you have, the energy that's coming into you from the universal out there. And I've got some things I've written about, things I've spoken about, things I've read about. I think we'll talk about it for future because people have a power they don't know they have. But hey, remember, Jaime? You remind me of a man.
A man? What man?
The man with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
The power of voodoo?
Voodoo.
The power of you do?
No, the
Hoodoo?
power of voodoo. Hoodoo. You do.
I do what?
You remind me of a man. Next time.
And we'll get back to that Pancho Villa story another time because we're out of time, but I'm almost kind of feeling like I'm grateful that we're out of time now. So on that note, Dad, I'll see you next time. And listeners,
Oh.
oh
Bye-bye.
my gosh. Listeners, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in, and share, like, subscribe because we are releasing a new episode every Tuesday. Also, if you know someone who would be a great guest on our podcast, please reach out to us. We would love to hear from them. We'll include a link as well too where you can submit their information and let us know. Or if it's you, maybe you want to share.
And not to be intrusive, but anybody out there wants to hear the classic, incredible Pancho Villa story, let us know by some sort of link or call us, do an instant message, put us on Facebook. Tell us something because Pancho Villa is a great story.
All right, Dad. Until next time, that's his story. And we'll see you next time, listeners.
Hasta luego. That was Pancho Villa.
Oh, geez. Somebody please help me.
Hey, thank you for tuning into today's What's Your Story podcast.
To learn more or share your story, go to jamiemarco.com. That's www.jaimemarco.com. And we will see you next time.